Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome back to the free-to-play review. So today's topic is going to be the latest iteration of the summon pool, specifically the Shadowkin summon pool, the second one for the year 2025. So, as you might guess, we do have Leonardo up for grabs. Of course, he is one of the latest Shadowkin champions and part of the collaboration between Raid and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But alongside him, you do also have a chance to get the Faction Unity champion for the faction, Shadowkin faction, Tetsuya. So at this point, I think it goes without saying that, Leonardo is an amazing champion. He's a very strong damage dealer, particularly in waves, particularly when you set him up properly, kind of like a Seer Taurus hybrid thing. Tetsuya, I think he's powerful as well. For those more so in the endgame, you definitely experience the pain of going against him in Faction Wars hard mode waves, and so he's a very annoying champion, lots of turn meter, and when you have enough champions on the squad from the Shadowkin, the entire team is immune from turn meter reduction, which can be very, very powerful, very, very potent. And so those are the headline champions, meaning the highest likelihood option if you were to get a legendary at all from your selection. But in terms of the overall Shadowkin selections, pretty good mix of good and meh champions. Harima's still one of the best defensive-based nukers in the game. I still use her on a regular basis to deal with lots of different enemies in the arena. Lady Kimmy, a decent speed booster, one of the better ones, I would say. Mishinaki is a great utility damage dealer for various aspects of PvE, dungeon bosses, Doom Tower bosses, and Hydra alike. I infamously had 3 Mishinakis built on my account. However, I did recently consolidate my gear onto only 2 of them, so I retired my 3rd Mishinaki, but still, really, really fun champion for PvE. Previous fusion champion here in Ishiyama, he's not great, but he's decent for HP based nukers. Arashi the Riptide, I think he's one of the champions who's HP based who can ignore Stone Skin, but as we've kind of seen with Granite and other champions, HP based champions, nukers are just harder to use without some sort of extra hit mechanic. They just simply don't hit hard enough compared to like a Narcisse is a good example of a decently hard hitting when you get the double hitter type stuff. But yeah, these, HP-based nukers just kind of struggle, as we've kind of seen with recent fusions as well. Kyoku, decent tank. I don't use her as much as I used to in the past, but she does have a nice Seeker-esque passive where you spread increased defense across your team, and if she does get a turn, she literally is the best ally protection champion in the game because she can put block damage on herself and then and then ally protect everyone else, meaning that she's soaking up half the damage from all of them, but she's not actually taking the damage because she's under block damage. So super good tank if you happen to get her. And then Gamran, decent support. He's kind of cool. He can steal a bunch of buffs, spread it around, kind of like Odin's passive, but more on an active ability. And then he has the cool ability to target dead people and block revive, but that's a very, very niche capability. So again, decent mix of legendaries overall. My top picks here, of course, would be Mishinaki, Harima, maybe Lady Kimmy as well, and then of course the headline champions if we do happen to get those. When it comes to the epics in the Shadowkin, they're just simply not as strong, but nonetheless there are a couple of honorable mentions. Birengiri was kind of famous way back in the day for being able to solo Baumel up to a certain point. Maybe nowadays he can go all the way up to hard 90, but I think at the very least he can do the second to last stage of Baumel solo. Hitatsu is a decent support, increased defense, decreased attack, and leech, continuous heal, so he's kind of a good healer, support, protector for your squad. Taragi the Frog, I've mentioned it many times, really, really good for the early and the mid game, especially when you're starting to branch into Demon Lord, Clan Boss, Ultra Nightmare, and Nightmare. He's great for a nested ally attack team, as well as his passive, allowing you to place a lot of poisons, particularly on Affinity Clan Boss, where he has the quad hitter, which means that each hit has a chance to place poisons on himself. Kinegashi is basically the only pure reviver in the entire faction, so you're definitely going to want a copy of her at some point in your raid career, and that's kind of it, honestly. I guess Nagorio is a decent epic damage dealer. But yeah, overall, the Shadowkin faction is just relatively underwhelming when it comes to the epics, so there's not much else to talk about there. So those are all the champions that are kind of up for grabs, the ones that are notable, I should say. And in terms of the odds of getting one of these champions, it's pretty par for the course at this point that a Prism Shard is effectively a sacred shard, meaning that there's a 6% chance to get legendary and a 94% chance to get an epic, and that 6% chance does mean that you have a slightly higher chance to get one or either of the headline champions and a slightly lower chance to get any of the other legendaries in that selection. Now, to put this in full context, there's been a lot of chatter about a guaranteed event of some kind for Leonardo, so obviously if you're not in a rush and you're saving up your resources, then you probably shouldn't be worrying about a 0.75% chance to get Leonardo. However, if you are interested in getting earning yourself a free air quote summon. The way to do it this time is, unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, a soul chase tournament. So if you get all the way out to, I believe it's 1,030 points in the soul chase, then you can earn yourself one free summon, meaning you have one free shot to most likely get an epic, but there is a small chance you get a legendary, and an even smaller chance that that legendary is Leo. But yeah, from a practical standpoint, burning a bunch of soul stones to try and get one free summon for a really minuscule shot is not worth it when there could be the guaranteed event for Leo could involve using your soul stones. So that would be a better use of your soul stones in the future. However, as we are going to do today, actually in this video, there is a decent, or a significant, I should say, amount of value for getting at least 250, and if you have even more, you're going out to 150, because 300 energy and 150 gems is a substantial amount of resources for a relatively low investment when it comes to soul stones. Again, that's proportional to however many you happen to have. So when it comes to the free summon for this summon pool, I do not recommend going out here to 1,000 points unless your soul stones are absolutely burning a hole in your pocket. There are no boosted rates going on right now, so you're not getting more bang for your buck in terms of pulling your soul stones, and you might be jeopardizing the potential to get Leonardo guaranteed in the future. But in my unique case, the circumstances are a little bit different, so we are going to be pulling some soul stones. I have allotted, up to 70 for this mini session here. I would just like to walk away with 150 points. There's going to be a lot of low point scoring 10 pulls, I suspect, at least, but you never know. We could get lucky really early on and we could get, a 5-star epic or something, and that could be worth a ton of points. So we'll kind of see as we go along here. But yeah, the goal for me is to get to 150 just to collect the energy and collect the gems. Again, I think that's a great value, assuming you have excess amount of soul stones, and 300 and something for me is definitely some excess relative to whatever might be coming down the pipeline. So let's dive right in. A special mini session here. Like, we can see how many soul stones it'll take, mortal soul stones I should say, it'll take to get out to 150 points. 2-star legendary is a great start, so this should be a decent sum of points. But yeah, like I said, we're going to see a lot of onesie twosie stuff as we go along here. So 41 points, decent start. So we're pretty close to the first 10 pop equaling just about the minimum milestone for the energy, I believe, is the first node there. So a couple of more onesie twosie stuff. 2-star Farrakhan, decent. 2-star Royal Guard for me. I think those aren't upgrades. I happen to have them be a bit higher. 1-star legendary, not great. That last one though, 2-star Chagor, nice 65. So we started with 41, 65, so we're about 100. So if we get another 10 pop just like this one, we could be done in 30, which would be great. About half of what I was anticipating to spend, but I also may have just jinxed it. So we'll see what happens here. But a bunch of rares, 5-star rares, probably good for the points as well. And yeah, way over. Okay, there. Okay, 5-star epic definitely pushed us over. So cool. So definitely overshot there a little bit. Is it 150 or is it 300? I kind of forgot what the value of what I said. It doesn't matter. Regardless, we made it. So yeah, so we got lucky there. That's definitely not the expectation you should have for your account, but nonetheless, if you do have a small amount of mortal soul stones to spare, then I do recommend that you grab the energy. 300 energy goes a long way, especially if you're working on the fusion, or if you're just working on something else in general. 300 energy, you can never go wrong. And then 150 gems, I typically think of gems as also energy. So if we round up a little bit, 150 gems is around 4 energy refills, which is another like 400 and something energy, or no, maybe 500 energy. So again, that's a lot of energy for, as you can see here, 30 mortals, but maybe with really bad RNG, it could be up to 60, 70, maybe even 80 with the absolute like bottom of the barrel luck. But the more you summon, the more likely you are to get something good. So that's take that with a grain of salt. My recommendation here is, if you can, just definitely try to pick up these minimum 2. Do not go all the way out to 1,000, at least if your goal is to try and guarantee yourself in terms of free resources or accessible resources to guarantee yourself Leonardo. So yeah, there you have it. That's going to do it for my free-to-play review of the Shadowkin Summon Pool 2 for 2025. Let me know in the comment section down below what your plan is relative to this particular iteration of the Summon Pool. Are you, despite my best efforts, going for the air quotes free summon, or are you going to be hoarding your resources, waiting for a potentially much better opportunity to get your hands on Leonardo? As always, if you did find this video helpful, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel. And also feel free to hit the subscribe button down below if and only if you are enjoying the content overall on this channel for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching and have a good one.